Here we go. One more evening of F1 22. A whole race weekend in an evening. It can take hours. It's the unique kind of content that a single, lonely, childless, slowly dying 40-something man is able to present to you. So, one more go in the F1 car. And it is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the grand finale. It is where, in both F2 and F1, in both the F1 20 game and the F1 22 game, we have finished the season. Compared to... Surprise! One more race. You never saw it coming. We have seen this in the F2 portion of this this season. It'll be different in the F1 car, but the track layout is slightly different to what we had in F1 2020. Some of the weird chicanes and slower corners have been dealt with, smoothed out, so we should have a slightly faster paced journey around that circuit this evening. I need to plug my Jeff cable into the controller. There we go. And we will... I don't think there's anything actually that worthwhile looking at. I don't think there's anything new in the store. So we will take it from here. Currently 5th in the drivers' standings. Top 6 was the aim. After the end of the F2 season and starting the F1 season, Skip found himself joining the Mercedes-AMG Petronas team because he could. And so that team, maybe slightly on the back foot for the 2022 season, but that team up there in the top 3. Each team has 2 drivers, therefore your top 6 drivers. Skip needs to be there. 5th, that's not too shabby. Let's get to Team HQ. We've got a Pirelli Hot Lap to come, and I think it will be rival duel. Components a bit on the iffy side for practice. We are not necessarily getting through this entire race weekend that smoothly, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. But what I'd like to do, before we get into the weekend itself, is just to have a quick look at the story so far, where we've been. This, as you see, the drivers' standings. Charles Leclerc is the World Drivers' Champion for this season, and Ferrari are the Constructors' Champion. The championships are settled. This is for pride. Max Verstappen secure in the 2nd place in drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton has 3rd place to protect because Carlos Sainz in the 2nd Ferrari is only 5 points behind. Mathematically speaking, I have a solid chance of holding on to 5th. I'm pretty clear of Sergio Perez in 6th. If I had a very successful weekend and Carlos Sainz had an absolute nightmare, Could I beat him to 4th? It's going to be difficult, but it is possible. Tables. Yes, mate. This, then, is the story of the season. You can't quite split it down the middle. But it was a very difficult start. It took a while for the car itself to become more reliable. The early part of the season was slightly dogged by an underperforming Mercedes. Those early races were punctured by pretty unfortunate finishes and not great starting spots on the grid either. Qualifying wasn't particularly great. The fortunes didn't really start turning around until after Azerbaijan, to be fair, because Spain wasn't too bad, right? Qualified 5th, started 5th. Not so great in the race itself, though. Finishing 7th. Monaco, we don't talk about Monaco. Azerbaijan started 5th. Problems towards the end of the race meant I dropped back down to 9th. Still a point, however. And then a great little run in the middle there. Canada, Great Britain, Austria, France, Hungary, nah. There was a penalty involved in Hungary, I believe, though. A strategic snafu that meant that I started the race at the back of the grid in Hungary. So that 13th isn't as bad as it looks. Then Belgium, another race win. The Netherlands, great qualifying, took pole position, but strategy errors meant that I finished 3rd. Not a bad climb back up to 6th, actually, in Monza in Italy. And it's this portion of the season where the races, the starting positions and the results were determined more by the fact that we had to introduce extra components into the mix for the powertrain, and they came with additional penalties. One extra gearbox, I think, which was a 5th place, and several other powertrain components, which were 10 place penalties. Hungary was the mistake. I made the change too late and had to start at the back. So bearing that in mind, that 6th in Italy isn't too bad. Singapore, great qualifying, started 1st, finished 2nd. Japan, though, terrible strategy. Good qualifying, qualified 2nd, started 10th, dropped down to 14th, which is very frustrating. But then we get back into slightly more positive ways. Austin, Texas was a banger. Took pole position, took a grid penalty, raced my way back to the win. Mexico and Brazil were both punctured in slightly different ways. Mexico by a grid penalty, Brazil by not the best qualifying, but the sprint race helped bring me a little further back up. Then other cars taking grid penalties meant I start 5th and finished 3rd. I've been jotting some stats down recently because it's going to help with the bonus stream. You need to know those stats. Most important. So there we go. That is how the season looks so far. We have one race left. Here's the situation with the powertrain. It's getting on. It's getting a bit old. The gearbox is fine. The control electronics are fine. The MG UK, excuse me, and the Energy Store. I'm an old man. The Energy Store are both kind of all right. We do have to keep an eye out, though, on the turbocharger, the MGU-H, and the combustion engine itself. I think the engine may be okay. It's actually looking a lot healthier for the amount of laps it's done compared to any of the other components. However, I think we'll probably be starting Practice 1 with a couple of things just brought back, just so we kind of save a little bit of the life of the most recent of the lot. May well fit them now, in fact. Let's make those decisions. What do we got here? That MGU-H at 77 will probably have to leave. So we'll need to hold on to that one. Turbocharger at 63 versus 80. Again, we may have to hold on to that. I think we're looking maybe at... $77 is pretty risky. 67 is getting up there. 75 is pretty mean. Maybe swapping one of these outright. So let's go... ICE3 for practice 1, and we'll change that over and go to MGUK for practice 2. We'll just kind of fiddle it out that way, just to try and extend the life of those newest components. It's all part of the season-long strategy, and even though there have been several penalties taken, we still have a little bit of management to do. Here in this final race weekend. Not gonna lie, says Five, every time he sees Daniel Ricciardo, his brain thinks Daniel Radcliffe. If Daniel Ricciardo had a little bit of that wizardy strength and power, he might have been a bit faster in the McLaren last year and still have a seat this season. Oh wells, never mind. Right, we need to get stuck in. It's still on our evening, folks, and the Pirelli Hot Lap comes first. And I think Rival Duel will be how we finish this one off. So let's get stuck in. Bonger! Rival Duel. Prepare to do battle against a single opponent in equal machinery. The event takes place over 3 rounds with varying starting positions, madam. Win as many rounds as possible to achieve the best possible medal. 3 wins, gold, 1,000 driver claim points.
Everything will be all right.
Let's hope so. Silver, 2 wins, 500 driver claim points. Bronze, 1 win. Will not be happy with bronze. Will take a silver. Gold would be good. Did very well last time out on that one. So let's get it done. Everything will, with any luck, be all right. Driving rules apply, as always. Don't check chat and drive. I will respond as and when I can, though. I love everybody equally in chat, and they shall not be. No one will put chat in a corner. That's the deal there. Anyway, here we go. 3 rounds. The first one is sort of the easy one, right? Because I will start ahead. Round 2, level pegging. Round 3, behind. I don't even know the layout that we'll be taking here, but let's go. Watch out for the wheel spin there, that's pretty risky. About 8 tenths ahead, but there's a slipstream effect. That may well bring the car of Tremblay behind. Chicane coming up. Watch out for the rear wheel spin. Oh, it's a front wheel drive though, so that's a stupid thing to say. Well, that's a comfortable win. 1.1 second gap. That was the easy one. Bronze medal guaranteed. Hello, Amber Swan, and thank you for the sound redeem. Round 2, alongside. Hello. When I have to restart the session, I have to do the whole thing. I have to do the first one as well. Can I instant replay that, please, sir? That was not good. When do I get... Do I even get a flashback in this situation? No, I don't. I just get to look at my shame. Whee! There he goes. Bye. Flip. Okay, fine. Mind rubbers. Let's start again. Idiot. Okay. So, this one's the easy one, because I have the lead. Although the gap is smaller this time, just half a second. .2 second gap. This'll do. Okay, that's the easy one. Hello, Nick. Welcome on in. Nice to see you for coffee earlier on today. Okay, alongside, have a better start, don't be an idiot. Let's go. Have the inside line, but it's sharper. I'm ahead. Now let's pull away. Rear stepped out just a little bit as I couldn't quite get front grip. 3/10, but that gap is closing and Tremblay is in the slipstream. So this chicane is going to be really important. And away we go. Slightly smaller gap. 8/10 for argument's sake. Silver. Now the tricky one. Starting from behind. Which, you know, in certain situations is actually a treat. Would not let him have the apex. Took the inside, did not let him have the full apex. A little bit later on the brakes. And that steely determination Gives us 3 wins in a row and the gold. Yes! That's how you win at life. Oh, I got a sound as well. I need to check out what that is. 3 wins! 3 wins for Skip in the rival duel and the final Pirelli Hot Lap of the season with 1,000 driver claim points. Good work. We will at some point need to know what Nick is making for dinner. You talk about food. In this place, you gotta give us the juice, the deets. Most important. Race weekend, here we go. The Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi, part of the United Arab Emirates. It's a harbour. You race under a hotel. Fireworks happen. The race happens at night. Very rich people go there. Good summary. Also, I have mini eggs here, so I'm gonna eat them. Mmm. Wouldn't you know it? It's going to be dry. Imagine having a wet race here. Something would have gone terribly wrong. The usual weekend preview from Francisco. Thanks. There's some developments here, right? But actually they're not. These are all securing things for next season, so they won't apply today. Weather forecast, there we go. Qualifying, nighttime. Race will start at sunset and move into nighttime conditions. Well, it's very surprisingly, it's going to stay dry on track. No rival, we've done that. ICE3 we will fit for this session, and we'll be keeping an eye on MGUK. We'll move that onto MGUK2 in practice 2. For now though, we will run with that. Turbocharger, I think we'll just about survive the weekend with this. Maybe actually I will just run through practice 1 with Turbocharger 3. It's very old, but we can just accept a little drop off in practice 1. We will need everything to be at full health by the time we get to practice 3. 2 reasons for that. Number 1, parc fermé conditions will come into play at the end of practice 3. But also that's the point where we'll be thinking about single lap pace, practicing for qualifying. So, 3 practice sessions, each a maximum of 1 hour. Hopefully, I will not need to use all of that time. We will have some practice programs to try and complete. Once those practice sessions are done, we move into one-shot qualifying. At the luckiest, it will be just 1 lap. The aim in one-shot qualifying is to do that hot lap all in one, no flashbacks, none of that kind of stuff. If things get real bad, I will redo the entire lap. But the aim is 1 interrupted lap. Then the race itself, 29 laps. And then the season is done. Practice 1 though, what do we got? We've got race strategy, tyre management, and qualifying pace to come. So I think we'll be looking at some casual track acclimatization, getting familiar with the circuit in the F1 car in practice 1, and we'll have a look at tyre management and save race strategy and qualifying pace for the later sessions, where actually a better powertrain, more reliable powertrain package will be more important. My tea's almost finished. Gilly fam, making meatballs, baby. Delish.
Time to remind ourselves of our top 3, who are Leclerc, Verstappen and Sergio Perez. And that's it. Practice is officially over. Until next time, goodbye.
Not a bad start to proceedings here in Abu Dhabi. Practice 1 is complete. Running around on soft tyres, just a little bit of casual acclimatisation. And, oh, hey, a new follower getting us closer, by the way, to our bonus stream target. 325 followers for a bonus stream. Just 2 away. So, JK Frost, thank you so much for dropping in this evening. I hope you are well, and I hope you like your F1. 4th fastest on the soft tyres. We have had to put older components in the powertrain that will affect overall performance. Have to bear that in mind. So I think that's pretty good, considering Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen are guaranteed to be like further ahead in most situations. Sergio just pipped me towards the end of the session. There's only a 10th between us. Feels like a good place to be. Practice 2 is going to be interesting because that's when I move into the race strategy stuff. And I'm going to get a feel for what life is like on the medium tyre. How competitive will things look then? Bam! Back to the workstation, so we are. Practice 2 coming up. We're running on some of the older components for practice. Moving over to ICE 4 for the rest of the weekend. However, turbocharger will stay on TC3 and we'll keep TC4 for practice 3 and beyond. And MGUH3 will be fitted for this session before we move back to MGUH4. So slightly risky there because MGUH3 is getting close to that 80% area. As soon as we hit 80, things start to get a little unreliable. So we're not really going to be going at full pelt until practice 3. But I'm hoping we can get done what we need to get done in these sessions. Practice 1 and practice 2 without feeling too much of that disadvantage. Quite happy so far with how the car feels. So that's something. But we shall move on into practice 2. Because the sooner we get this stuff done, the sooner we get into the fun bits, right? Qualifying in the race.
The session has drawn to a close, so let's review our top 3. Dip, Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Sadly, it's time to say goodbye as free practice is over. However, we'll be back shortly for more Formula One action.
So, race strategy practice program and a cheeky casual spin around in qualifying trim. That attempt at the hot lap put Skip right at the front of the timings on the soft tyres with a 1:26.203. And that is without all of the latest and greatest engine components popped on. We do need to change that for the next session. The race strategy practice program went pretty well. Tyre life was good. Maybe I pushed ever so slightly too much in terms of staying within the delta. Laps were a lot faster than they needed to be, especially on lap 4 and 5, and I think that used a little bit more fuel than I needed to. I didn't go over what the team were expecting, but I didn't stay under. It would have been good to have maybe been a little bit more efficient on the fuel there. But an absolutely a rock-solid practice too. And things in terms of car setup feel pretty solid, but I do need to check the difficulty setting and change it if I am allowed, because I forgot to do that before this race weekend got underway, so fingers crossed we can do that. This is a real-life F1 question from Popty. How do I think Mercedes will fare this season? They are a solid 3rd and/or 4th, depending on, I guess, how lucky or unlucky a Ferrari driver or an Aston Martin driven more likely by Stroll than Alonso would be. Red Bull far and away ahead, scarily fast at the moment. Mercedes aren't necessarily terrible right now, but not where they want to be, clearly. Not sort of where they were by the end of last season. I think they're... I think they're looking at maybe 3rd or 4th in the drivers, in the constructors by the end of this season. If things improve and they're largely being able to outperform Ferrari and they're battling with Aston Martin, could be a close battle in the constructors, but I think Aston Martin will pip them. We could be looking at Red Bull, Aston, Mercedes, then Ferrari. But it could easily go the other way. It could easily be that Mercedes improved, but not enough. Aston Martin completely outperformed them for the whole season, and you know, Mercedes and Ferrari are kind of closer to each other. It's hard to see the top step of the podium going to anybody but a Red Bull driver now, but that can change. Different circuits will favour different kind of car setups and stuff like that. You know, so the way things look at the moment is everything looks like Red Bull are going to run away with it, and they possibly could, but the season is long. Cars will develop and catch up. Different circuits have different setup requirements. Some car concepts will work better than others. So I don't think it's going to be such a disaster that Mercedes don't either finish third or fourth. I don't think they'll be happy with third or fourth in the constructors, but I can't see them being any higher than that. Still very early though, we're only 2 races in. Right, at this point, there's tutorials, there's that. If I go into the workstation, settings becomes available. There it is. 65. At least it's there for at least qualifying in the race, right? If not anything else. Okay, officially we're at 65. Back to 65 on the AI. Okay, we're moving into practice 3, so ICE 4. MGUK 3. MGUK 4. Energy Store 3. Turbocharger 4. Overall wear will drop from 54 to 51%. %62% wear on ICE 4, 60 on MGUK 3, 64 on MGUH 4, 63 on Turbocharger 4. That has to be it. So, into practice 3, qualifying pace practice with the best possible setup that we're going to have available to us for the rest of the weekend. Fingers crossed, eyes down for a full house, etc, etc.
And with all the cars now over the line, let's see our top 3 again. Verstappen, Dip and Charles Leclerc. What an incredible practice session. The fun doesn't stop here though. Join us again as the rest of the weekend unfolds.
Don't let that deceive you. Second fastest in the session, a 1:26.5. But when I put it to you that in the qualifying pace practice program, the team wanted me to hit a 1:25.5, and I was 1 second off that target, I come out of practice 3 with a little less confidence in how things will go from this point on. I'm feeling a bit nervous about one-shot qualifying. The other thing that those who will be watching this on the highlight or on YouTube will not see is the amount of times I restarted those practice programs. Feel free to check out the YouTube channel, by the way. Nothing new goes on there. It's just the highlights from Twitch that go on there. So edited VODs appear on YouTube eventually. So if you want to catch up with something you haven't seen and you don't like the way they work on Twitch, they're on YouTube too. So feel free to check their link out and subscribe. And also, actually, maybe watch a video and like it. Unlike a lot of activity I've been seeing recently where I've been getting thumbs down. Like me, please! Here we go. More chocolate. Nom 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 nom. Resource points. I know, who does a thumbs down? I don't know what... who knows? I don't know what they're expecting to see. I'm sorry, I'm not... Hi guys! Well, YouTube! Or something. I don't know, jeez. I'm old, give me a break. Hey guys! It's just not me. Okay, so here we go. Time for qualifying. I'm full of self-loathing today. Do not push me further. That's all I'm going to say. One-shot qualifying here. My manager, who I can't wait to fire into the sun for sending me the most half-arsed emails throughout this entire season. This, however, from my chief engineer, Mark Priestley, is where things really come. He says, all right, I think the trickiest part of Abu Dhabi is the braking zone for 12. You'll be coming in hot from the flat-out right-hand kinks of 10 and 11. Be careful not to lock up. That hasn't been a problem, partly because of the way my settings are. And carry the right line through 12, 13 and 14. Mate, it's the chicane I'm having more trouble with. Other than that, I don't think there's anything here that should catch you out too much. Look, we'll see how things actually work out in the race. Qualifying, I'm concerned about. I think the race could be fun. The issue is if I start too far back... Passes. It's all about passes, right? That's the thing. It would be great to come out of this weekend with another podium. Ideally, it would just be the cherry on the top of the cake if I took a race win. Things are looking unlikely there, but we'll see how we get on. Okay, so there's nothing else for us to worry about. We are at overall 50% wear on this setup. This should hopefully be just about well enough to see us through the race. We may, in the dying laps of this race, start getting a warning about having to manage the battery or something like that. We'll see how we get on. Let's get ourselves to qualifying, shall we? It's time. See, what I've done there is I've announced the thing, but I haven't got the thing. But yeah, it's qualifying. Let's go. Oh, Jesus. Terrible streamer. Meow.
Bungle, 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 bungle.
Soft tyres, everything dialed up. Hopefully not going to bin the car. Also, hopefully, doing the entire lap in one go. How many times I attempt that is up for debate. And perhaps actually the prediction shouldn't be on the qualifying outcome. It should be on how many times I retry this. Maybe I'm lucky and we get this done in one. I'm not so sure about that. Okay, here we go. So our qualifying prediction gamble is coming right up. For the last few, we have had the same brackets. Pole position, positions 2 to 6, positions 7 to 10, positions 11 to 20. Do I change them, or do I leave them there? The logic behind having them more or less as they are is this, right? Pole position, that's an option, it's there if you want it. Positions 2 to 6, that's me in the Mercedes, in the top 6, where I think I should belong. Positions 7 to 10, I'm in the top 10. It's the front half, but it's not the top 6, right? 11 to 20, I've had a flipping nightmare. I could skew those and have them a bit more evenly spaced out. Maybe 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, that kind of thing. And just have it completely even and leveled out. Instead of having it a bit kind of loaded the way it is now. I think in most situations, having it a little loaded fits the performance and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure whether we stick or twist. It's basically what I'm saying here. I don't know whether we stick with what we've been doing for the last few weekends or whether we change it up. I'm tempted to leave it because you never know, right? If anyone apart from Stream Elements has an opinion on that, feel free to speak up in chat because I can modify it depending on what people think. I could just even it all out, or we kind of have it slightly skewed the way that we've had it for the last two. No time for tinkering. That's the words of a wise man there, a sage. No time for tinkering. And high level has returned. And I've got a bit of choco. Let's keep it then. 2 minutes. Place your bets on the qualifying outcome. Your 2 minutes start now. Pole position. Unlikely. Positions 2 to 6. Qualifying the rest of the top 6. Positions 7 to 10. Saliva management here. Do bear with. I chose that mini egg at the wrong time. With the little crunchy, crispy bits of like. 7 to 10. In the top 10, in the top half, it's where you want to be. Or 11 to 20. The survey says. Those are your options. Nick literally just stopped lurking when I asked the question, so you don't understand. It doesn't matter now, that time has passed. Although, of course, you can watch the VOD. We've got a request for ad time. Let's do that now. Let's run a 60-second ad break right this minute before we hit qualifying. Then it won't interfere during qualifying itself.
He's very sensitive.
I am. Here comes that ad break. 60 seconds, and we'll be right back. Thank you for that high level. Let's just make sure that that is checked off. I'll finish the rest of my fizzy cola here. So that'll do the hydrate. Gulp. Posture check. I have a chair. There it is. And I can lean back in it. So that's my posture, all sorted. Amber Swan, if you're running off mobile, you may find it difficult to claim your the Prime sub. You may find that easier to do via browser/desktop. She won't actually hear this because there's an ad. There we go. Tap, 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 tap. No ad on the phone, just the TV. Ooh, I've got 17 screens. I'm appreciating all the views that come off the back of that, by the way, so thanks. I shouldn't be so quick to take the piss out of the great community. Okay.
Chip, 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 chip.
That caught me by surprise. Let's have a look at the prediction result. And what? Everybody has been incredibly generous with their gambling here. Let's hope I can deliver on this. 99% of the wager has gone down on a pole position. Are you sick? 24,300 engagements have gone on pole. 154 has gone down on positions 2 to 6. 160 have gone down on positions 7 to 10. No one has gambled on that back 10. The thing is, even though in practice I was near the top of the timing sheets, I was a second off where the team wanted me to qualify in the practice program. So it really could go any way. Let's A, get into qualifying, B, see how many times I have to do it. Let's go. Qualifying under the lights. Let's see. And the Ghost is ahead. So pole is unlikely. Look at that gap now, the straight line speed disadvantage. Has my setup come to murder me? Lost a lot of time there through the chicane. I just don't think I have it. I don't think I have the setup. Let's have another go. Because that scares me. Can't make changes to the setup now, by the way. That's all locked in. Kind of scared to. I wouldn't want to drop off more aero than that. Oh god, I'm scared. Turn one actually was okay. Oh, too deep into the corner. Geez, 2 cars out of the session already. Going to lose a little bit of time here. The chicane needs to be rock solid. Lol. Okay, take 3. Jesus Christ. Help me. It's never been this bad. Get me a good chicane. Better. Okay, we got through the worst bit. Oh. Here comes the finish line. It might be. I think it is.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
Suck my teats, it's pole!
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3, Dip, Leclerc and Sergio Perez. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
Third attempt, third try. No, sorry. First try. Key things that really made the difference on that third attempt. A rock solid turn 1. Didn't drift off track. Good exit speed. Carries you through 2 and 3. Really nice run out of the hairpin. Managed to get on the power early. Didn't lose quite so much time going down the straight. The chicane was bang on. Managed to take that left-hand turn and start building up speed to take that right-hander. The line was just right. Survive that bit, the rest of it's fine. The rest of it's fine. You're just holding on tight, making sure you don't make a mistake. 3 tenths, almost 4 tenths to Charles Leclerc. And a 125.5, remember, was the target in the qualifying pace practice program. That there, folks, 9 tenths faster, a 124.6. Now we can chill. The race cometh. We start on pole. Race pace is good. Car balance, good. There's a lot to fight for from here. Lewis Hamilton, my teammate, a 125.3. In between us, Leclerc, Perez, Verstappen. We'll see what happens with Leclerc and Verstappen. I hope for a good start. I'm not sure I'll be able to keep either of those cars behind me for the entire race. It could end up being a podium finish, maybe not a race win. We'll see what happens. 2 retirements in that practice session. They were announced at the very beginning of the lap. Esteban Ocon in the Alpine won't be a threat for me in the race. Carlos Sainz, however, in the second Ferrari, out of the equation. Mick Schumacher there, excellent work in the Haas 126.2. The 2 McLarens make it into the top 10. Lando Norris, hopefully not too much of a concern this time round. I have been fighting bitterly with him through parts of this season. Sergio Perez will be the one that I need to keep behind me. It's very unlikely that I will lose my 5th position in the driver's standings. That seems pretty safe. It's safe, your money's safe. But for pride, I will want to finish ahead of him at the very least. That then, redemption, if you will, in qualifying, puts us in a pretty good spot now for the race.
Are you okay, Danny?
I'm okay.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. What's okay? He's taking drugs.
Classic. Thanks for the clip, higher level. Oh, that lap. You just need one good one, that's it. One good one. Okay, here we are. Race day. And the pre-race email from Mark. Hi Steve, we've been putting in all the legwork for months back at the factory. Guilt trip. Have a good race, etc. Blah. Thank you very much. Nothing else for us to worry about through any of this. We just hope and pray that that powertrain has enough left in it to see us through the race. Control electronics and gearbox rock solid. The rest of it starting a bit like me, starting to get grey and saggy. Race day cometh, folks. First though, I do need to pay out on that prediction, do I not? It was a pole position at the end. The vast majority of the engagements went on that. You will get all of those back, plus tiny little bit extra from everybody else. Nick Sight and Gilly Fam, the Faith Havers, receive 301 and 13 engagements extra on top of that. Let's have some big bold betters in our race day bet. Speaking of which, though, let's get down to that pre-race hype. Quite looking forward to the pre-race P as well. I'm not going to lie, it's time. In your own time. No.
It's time then for one final race in this year's Formula One World Championship. 2010 saw 4 drivers in contention for the title coming into this race, with Sebastian Vettel prevailing to become the youngest world champion to date. Is the one last sting in the tail awaiting us today? It's time to find out in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have 16 corners here at Yas Marina Circuit, 7 to the right and 9 to the left. It's a total lap distance of 3.28 miles, 2 long straights and overtaking opportunities throughout the lap. And we expect average lap speeds of around 123 miles per hour.
Skip watch.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Skip lines up on pole position.
Yes, mate.
Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly, and Bottas.
There are penalties.
Albon, Perez, Joe, and Lewis Hamilton.
Flipping it.
Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso. They've taken a grid penalty. Max Verstappen and Mick Schumacher.
Oh my God.
Magnussen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty.
What?
Latifi. Sebastian Vettel.
They're all taking
Lance
penalties,
Stroll.
John.
They've taken a grid penalty. Sainz and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
What?
It's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Now let's talk about Charles Leclerc. They have had a fantastic campaign, a wonderful year as they come into this weekend's Grand Prix as a fully deserving champion.
It really is well deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
Okay, this is the final race of the season. Just get out there and enjoy it.
Oh, how the turns have tabled. Pole position was worrying about Ferraris and Red Bulls behind me. Over half the field have taken grid penalties. Their components, their powertrain components, the elements of the engine, the gearbox, etc., were worse than mine. I had been taking, right, and I've got the stats here, right. Let's go. So, Hungary, Monza, Japan, Austin, Mexico. 5 races I have had to take component penalties. Partially because I didn't want to get right to the end of the season and have to take them then. Everyone else is in a situation now where they're having to take them. I swear to God, that's almost everyone who's taking penalties. So there are Red Bulls and Ferraris way out of position here. I've got the 2 flipping McLarens behind me on row 2. State of it. Charles Leclerc. Tell a lie. Charles Leclerc, he's the dude I'll be racing probably more than anybody else. Lando Norris, Daniel Ricciardo, row 2. Gasly, Bottas, row 3. Row 4, Alex Albon in the Williams. Sergio Perez down to 8th. Lewis Hamilton down to 10th. Max Verstappen, 2nd in the driver's standings, down to 13th. Now, look, Bottas, Verstappen, starting on soft tyres. Gives you an indication of what their strategy is. Max Verstappen actually has the ability to make a lot of positions in the opening stint of this race, which, you know, something to think about in terms of where he finishes. Carlos Sainz quite rightly starting on the softs, down in 19. Otherwise, everybody else doing the standard medium to hard style strat. Race strategy. The usual. Default strategy, medium to hard. We've seen this a lot. There have been a few occasions this season where I have meta-gamed myself into a different pit strategy. More times than not, it did not pay off. It did not pay off at Zandvoort. I lost 2 positions and finished 3rd. It did not pay off in Japan when I took a grid penalty. And the alternate strategy did not pay off there. This is what the cars starting on the soft tyres are most likely to do. A 2-stop strat. Soft, medium, medium. I guess there's a possibility that they could drag out the hard tyres a little bit longer. I don't know whether that really makes a 1-stop possible. If you had an extra set of softs, would you go soft, soft, and then onto the hards? difficult to say. The trouble is, of course, as we know, you lose time by making that additional pit stop. You have to drive incredibly aggressively to make it work for you otherwise. What I'm interested in is seeing in what the race strategy practice program has done in terms of changing the projected strat to the personalized strat. Does the estimated race time get quicker? Does the tyre life extend? Those sorts of things. Let's see what happens when we look at that. So about 3 seconds faster, a lot more tyre life, and like a drip more fuel. Do I run just a little bit lighter on fuel, right? So it's 31.1. With 30.9. Just... Okay, so again, there is no reason to change the tyre strategy here. The cars around me at the front of the grid are going to be doing the same. The best thing we can do is maybe try and run a little bit longer, hold out on those mediums for a little bit, pit a little bit later, overcut, undercut, some kind of thing like that. Depends how things will feel at the time. Let's lock that in. Ad brake has started it just bang on the worst time. Let's prepare our race day bet. Let's think about this. Going to shift it around just a little bit. It's counting on my fingers. Do you know what? No, I'll put it back to that. No, I think I was right to have it. Jeez. Okay, well that helped fill some time, didn't it? Okay, so here comes race day gambling. Engagements at the ready, everybody. It is time for the last race day bet of the F1 22 career mode. Where will I finish on race day? Will it be a race win? Can it be a lights to flag victory today? If not a race win, podium finish, positions 2 or 3. Seems possible. If not the podium, somewhere else in the top 6, positions 4, 5 or 6. If not there, The rest of the points paying positions, 7, 8, 9, or 10. And if not there, arse end of the grid, 11 to 20. Need a good solid start. Some strong laps. I expect there will be some threats on the DRS zones. I may lose positions. So think about that. May lose positions on the start-finish straight. Not the start-finish straight, sorry, but after the hairpin and out of the chicane. Those are where the 2 DRS zones are. And I'm most vulnerable in those straight line areas. So a win from first, with that in mind, might be tricky. So far, we've had one person place some engagements down on a win, two people on a win, sorry, one down on a podium. If you've got a little bit of your channel points there, or you've got a lot of channel points, but you don't fancy going big, throw down 50, 100, something like that on 4 to 6 or 7 to 10. Go out there, be an outlier, just in case something goes bad today. You could win big. There's over 22,000 bonk, 22,000 channel points on a win. If I don't win, if I come second or third, if I come 4th, 5th or 6th, if I finish 9th, you could get a lot of these. For a lot of these.
Bunker, 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 bunker.
Cheep, 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 cheep.
Don't worry about it.
What?
Anyway.
Yeah, like that. So, I'll leave that prediction with you. We've got a couple of minutes left to go. I'm going to take the pre-race P because I really need it. When I come back, we will have our last race of the season. Formation lap, about 45 minutes of racing, maybe a little bit longer, depending how things go. I'll see you in a few minutes for the race. Right. Bladder has been emptied. Feel like I'm in a comfortable place now in which to race. Let's hope for a good one, shall we? The betting window is officially closed. We've had gambles on a win, on a podium finish, and positions 4 to 6 by the looks of it. Someone could get an immense return if I finish anywhere between 4 and 6. Let's see what happens. Subskull has appeared, apparently. Why has the Subskull appeared? I have another thing. I have the other goal to turn up. I mean, give me your money, by all means. That's not the one I wanted to show. I wanted to show the one that said 324 follows, one off the 325 target for a bonus stream. If we can hit 325, there will be a bonus F122 stream. Chat will pick the track, 100% distance race. I'm mental, I know, but there isn't anything else I'm doing with my time these days, let me tell you. So it's that. Race. It's time, folks. Last race of the season from the front row, pole position. We've got the formation lap first, and then we're into the race itself. The main event. This is it. Let's get things where I need them. Okay, I think that's all right. Get myself into racing position. Plant the back into the chair. Right, none of this leaning forward nonsense. That's why chairs have backs on, right? So you can rest on them. Otherwise, what's the point? You might as well be sitting on a stool, sir. Hippie Dave, thank you. Thank you for the posture check. I can has posture. I can has chair. Thank you very much for that. Right, let's go, folks. The time for chatting is over. The time for racing definitely starts now.
Okay, how was that pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
Punch up through the gears a little bit. Those front tyres are remarkably cold still. Now, one thing that I have not been doing too well in this game is parking my car just so in my grid slot. Can I do it for the final race of the season? Oh, just over the line.
That's not an ideal placement in your grid
10
slot.
centimetres.
Good launch at the race starts.
Flipping heck, Frank.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed.
All right.
Ready with the clutch.
Hopefully no delays this time, like the last couple of races, which have been weird. Here we go. Need a good pull away here. Terrible. Bottas, what a start.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
Bottas, of course, on the soft tyres, is desperate to get a good pull away here. No DRS for the first couple of laps. It's lap 3 where we'll first see this.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK to manage the
straight line speed advantage is frightening.
Mode.
Down to 4th. Have we made a big mistake with a setup? Worried about Charles Leclerc getting too far ahead here. We need to stay level with that guy. He's the guy we're racing today, really. Perez battling with Norris. Right, let's see what this shift in straight line speed is here. Close to 2/10 lost. Very heavy on the brakes. I need to do that again. I think I may already have. And I do want to check this. Have I got superficial damage to the front wing this early in the race? Because there was a little coming together in those opening turns. I think I've got away with it. Okay, all is well.
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep temps under control, please.
Stay close with these guys. Charles Leclerc is sort of running away with it. Bottas is on an alternate pit strategy though. So it's really Ricciardo for position. Unless Bottas has a flipping miracle. Charles Leclerc, 128.6, and that is something I'm going to have to redo. Terrible start to the race here. It's a long one though, we can pull this back. Very close to the barrier.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Okay, so in the DRS zone here, which is good. Sort of caught in a train behind Bottas. Do have to worry about Perez behind though. Full race update.
Good work, we're in P4. It's Ricciardo ahead of you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. Perez is behind you. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, gap to leader, 4.8 seconds. You've got 10 laps until your pit window opens. Pit window opens in 10 laps. 27 laps to go.
To stay within a second of the cars in front here. Flipping heck. It's not the way I wanted this race to start, but it's the one I have. That was bad. Perez is way too close here. So he's joining the DRS train. Bottas defending against Ricciardo. Ricciardo may have this. Bomb! Crunch! Ridiculous! This race isn't going to be boring. It's going to be a little bit too interesting, I'll be honest. And Ricciardo has passed Bottas. I'm pretty much out of ERS here. Bottas is taking a look at Ricciardo. And they're battling each other, slowing each other down, bringing me back into the battle. Norris and Perez behind, scrapping. While Charles Leclerc in front is miles away. Bottas starting to lose the benefit of those soft tyres, it would seem. Really dropping off. Now he's going to be a bit of a moving roadblock. He's coming back in though. I had a bit of a rough couple of turns there. Looking for a strong drive out. Do not have DRS on Ricciardo. More than a second. Bottas less than half a second behind and closing, but Norris behind him. Holding the inside. Will he get me here? Got to try and get him on the brakes a little deep. Get a good drive out. Now he's fighting with Norris. Third place still secure at this point. Leclerc is 9 seconds. 9 seconds down the road. The race win surely is his.
Gap to your teammate behind is 3.4 seconds.
Time to try and hunt down Daniel Ricciardo. Having a strong race in the McLaren here, 1.5 seconds ahead. I have a lot to worry about, however, with the McLaren behind Lando Norris, who is 3.5 tenths. And we'll have DRS. And we'll close up pretty quick. Look at that. Oh. Wheel to wheel. It's going to have this. 4th place now. Dive down the inside. Live to fight another day. Ricciardo now 2 seconds down the road. Charles Leclerc 11. Unbelievable. What could have been? Norris still half a second behind. Driver behind.
Norris is behind you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:30.7.
The speed on the straights here is killing me. The DRS is insane. He'll get me on this second, and I may not have an answer for it. Perez is catching up. There's a lot happening here. It's got a bit ugly there.
And gap to the car in front is 2.1 seconds.
How to close that gap on Ricciardo, 1.9 seconds. Norris closing again, hold the inside. It's a war on the brakes. It's a lot closer this time. Grip is starting to be a bit tricky. He is having to worry about Perez behind him though. Now they're fighting side by side. Good. Take each other out, please. Still 2 seconds to Ricciardo. Bigger gap. Good. Fuel is alright. 1.6 on the plus. That will drop down as the race goes on. Perez, he's got the inside. He's got the inside. This is probably his. In very deep here. He's alongside. Don't want to get too close to them while they're scrapping here. Lost a lot of positions.
To give that place back, I'm afraid that was an illegal overtake.
That was a bit greedy, it has to be fair. Elbows out. Let's go. Norris will have me here. Yeah. Piece of cake. Dropping back.
Okay, careful with the overtakes. That was a bit risky. We could have received a penalty. Tyre condition still looking good. approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time.
It's pretty busy, this. Pretty busy, and yeah, there we go. Got a little bit greedy. Hit the curb, and away we went.
Okay, gap to the car ahead is 3.0 seconds.
It's a shame because I really do need to try and catch up. This massive gap ahead of me, no DRS, is really making me a victim to the cars behind. And it's only because I'm being a bit impolite on track, really, that I'm not further back than I am. Norris will have DRS on me here as well. There he is. Norris is dropping back. Is he defending against Alonso? Driver in front.
It's Perez ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 3.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 11 laps old now. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 29.6. Okay, we're dropping back by around 4/10 a lap. Give it everything you got.
I'm doing my best. Tyres are close to dead. Norris is closing.
Okay, gap ahead is 4.4 seconds.
This is very, very aggressive. Those tyres are gone, man. Bono, my tyres.
We're going to box this lap and push hard on the in-lap.
Ah, too deep, too deep, too deep, too deep.
Okay, we've lost a position. That's us.
DRS though. Wow, Alonso is very punchy indeed. We're coming into the pits and I cannot wait for a new set of, hello sir, a new set of tyres, because these are, oh god, I'm screwed here. Oh no. It's a terrible place to try and flash back from. Really? Also into the pits as well.
Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
It's going to take a while to get these hard tyres up to temperature.
Stay clear of the white line on the exit.
We're going to need a
penalty for dangerous driving if you
gangbuster second half to this. Not even getting DRS. Alonso, 2.2 seconds behind. He's now the car I'm racing. Those ahead on mediums will have to stop. And Lewis is in the pits.
Okay, Lewis is in for his stop.
Is Vettel pitting or staying out? He's in the pits. There we go. Several cars will be in the pits now.
The car in front is 4.9 seconds.
And we're back with Norris. Yes.
The car behind you's just come in for the hard tyres. Car behind running hard tyres.
He's going to have DRS on me though. So me versus Norris forever. Sainz has done good. Pretty much from the back of the grid up to 5th. Okay. Lap 16 of 29. P6. Fresh hard tyres for the rest of the race. Still feel like I'm too slow through that chicane, and I'm allowing Norris to catch up.
Okay, gap to the car ahead is 3.3 seconds.
I'm losing time to the cars ahead. Dollar signs, 2.9 seconds ahead. Need a better run through this chicane. I want to be able to catch up. Too deep, I think. Too deep into that one. 8 tenths. 7, 6. Down to 4. A little bit wide here. Put the power down. About half a second, but he is closing. Driver in front.
Sainz ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 2.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:29.2. This is great stuff. We're gaining by 3 tenths a lap. Good work.
Let's hope for a good second phase to this race here. Norris closing up within DRS. Terrible chicane. He's closed up big time. He'll have DRS.
Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake and we could still regain the position.
My teammate is behind me.
Sainz is in the pits.
Norris, Hamilton battling. Keep each other busy, slow each other down.
The gap's currently about 6 seconds to the next car. Let's see if we can reduce it when we can.
Perez has just passed Ricciardo. So Leclerc first, Perez second. That's, I think, how this is shaking down. Norris and Hamilton side by side. Keep each other occupied. Leave me alone. That'll be great, thank you. So tempting to put the power down earlier out of that final right hand, and knowing that you've got a little baby straight in front of you. The car hasn't finished turning yet, and you're just going to take it with you. It's no good. Okay, gap increasing behind. Worried about the gap ahead now. No, that was rubbish. Come on, Steve. Let's go. Hit the wall. Let's not get too sweaty. Hold it together. Let's try and catch up with Ricardo. We've got 9 laps here. Podium still kind of within reach. Driver in front.
Ricardo ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 6.2 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 6 laps old. Time last lap was a 1 minute 29.8. Okay, so you're gaining by 8 tenths. 8 tenths.
Let's go get him. Time to focus. We need solid, reliable laps.
Yellow flag.
Yellow flag. Who's retired? Is there a car slowing? There's a car slowing. Who is it? Sergio Perez is out.
Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Perez out of the race. Leclerc first.
Clear.
23.5 seconds down the road. Ricardo 5.8 seconds. We are in for a podium finish here if all things go well, but can we still catch up with Ricardo and make this count? Lando Norris 1.7 seconds behind, 1.5 and catching. This needs to be nailed on. Shoot. Norris is within a second. Driver in front.
It's Ricardo ahead of you. And gap to the car in front is 6.3 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Their tyres are 8 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1:29.6. All right, at the moment you're losing 3 tenths a lap. Come on, dig in.
Big shift. it's becoming more unlikely that I'll catch him. Leclerc has just flown away with this.
Okay, gap to the car ahead is 6.6 seconds.
Yeah, we're losing time. Whatever I had over the McLarens has gone.
Starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
Screw the tyres. Have to push. Driver behind.
Norris behind. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 0.9 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Their tyres are 8 laps old, and the time last lap was a 1 minute.
It's too close.
29.1.
I need Lewis to catch up to him. Keep him distracted. We're not taking Ricciardo at this pace.
Mileage on it to a minimum.
Good. Hamilton's putting pressure on Norris again.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done. That's just 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Right, just keep pushing, keep using that fuel as much as possible. 4.5 seconds to Ricciardo. Cannot close that up. and they can't make mistakes like that either. Have to block Norris off after that second DRS zone comes to an end, because cannot give any quarter to the guy. Too close now. .3 seconds to Ricciardo. Visibly closer now. Have to hold the inside. It's going to have the outside line here.
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus.
That's it. Pushed him back into the grasp of Hamilton. That's bought me another lap. Hamilton now fighting with Norris. Tooth and nail, very close to each other here. Stay away from me if you wouldn't mind. Ricciardo increasing the gap ahead, sadly.
4 laps of fuel remaining.
I've not had a race like this all season. It has been breathless, non-stop. Now I have Lewis Hamilton breathing down my neck. I don't know which I would have preferred, to be honest, Hamilton or Norris.
Our gap to the car in front is 4.8 seconds.
That concertina effect into that chicane is flipping brutal. Hamilton within the DRS zone now, but battling with Norris, having to defend a little bit. I think it turns out I was carrying too much fuel. That may have slowed me down a lot here.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
Penultimate lap. We can hang on to this. Podium finish could be on the cards if I can keep my nose clean for 2 more laps. Now it's Lewis Hamilton who's close.
Keep managing your tyres, manage your tyres. only got 2 laps
Oh.
left.
Can't get away with that. Really held the inside there. He held the outside. Fair play to him. Let's pick it up from here and see what can be done.
Okay, this is your final lap of the race.
Contact. Come on. Even with DRS open. There's a setup difference here. That's not played into my hands. Got to hold on for 4th. Oh, oh God. It's just nothing left in the tyres here. It's 4th place then.
Okay, good effort, good effort. I know it's been a tough year, we've been through a lot, but we'll keep at it, keep improving, and we'll bounce back again next season.
That's it then. They've taken the win here as we wrap up another fantastic Formula One season. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit, familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
Anyway, how is your sex life?
Thank you for your continued support.
Some amazing talent out there on track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Carlos Sainz would be my first choice for this race. He had excellent race stamina, giving him the opportunity to charge through the ranks.
So then, Ferrari have now moved out of sight and out of reach. It's another triumph for the Italian team as they claim the World Constructors' Championship. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who's joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Harsh result. Harsh result. Just 1 second from a podium finish. Couldn't not hold back my teammate. On paper, a start from pole position and finishing off the podium in 4th, I think on paper looks a bit disappointing. I come away from that race with mixed feelings. Like, that's not the result I wanted. I wanted a podium finish, and I was very close to it. But whether it was not quite the right setup in terms of aero, whether it was just the engine getting a bit sick, whether it was the increase of the AI from 63 to 65. That was the most challenging, close, stressful race I've had all season. And I look at that 4th place and I think about what I had to go through and how rough my start was actually. It wasn't so bad that it was worth a restart, but I did lose positions. Charles Leclerc, bam, he was off. No one saw him again. There could have been a 2nd or 3rd place there if for a slightly better start and maybe a little bit more luck in the race. Sergio Perez did retire, so it could have been worse. It could have been a 5th here. What that race did deliver in spades was action, action, action. It was fun to be involved in all of that. I'm pretty sure it was good for you guys to watch as well. Amber Swan, thank you for the 30 months of Prime. 2.5 years of subbing with Prime. Thank you very much, Giddy Fam. Thank you also for the cheers. They're the sweet, delicious bits. Thank you for those too. High level, enjoyed the race. It was all right, wasn't it? It was all right. Charles Leclerc, from 2nd on the grid, has a good start, takes the inside line into turn 1. You don't see hide nor hair of him again. Daniel Ricciardo from 4th, climbs up to 2nd. An uncharacteristic good result for Daniel Ricciardo in the McLaren. Lewis Hamilton passes me in the penultimate lap to secure 3rd. From 10th on the grid, and Skip from 1st drops down to 4th after an incredibly tight race. Lando Norris also falls back from 3rd to finish 5th. Alonso 12th up to 6th. Verstappen 13th up to 7th. Ocon 20th up to 8th. Driver of the day, Carlos Sainz, 19th to 9. It'll be interesting to see what strategies they played with today. Tyres. At the end of both of those stints, those tyres were dead. And there's an alternate universe here where I did a 2-stop instead of a 1-stop strategy. Would that have helped today? Would that have helped guide me through the tricky turns? Would that have helped me push a little bit better on exit? Help mitigate against that straight line speed loss? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Only Sergio Perez there with the DNF. Everybody else finished. Max Verstappen also fastest lap today. Charles Leclerc, the driver's champion here in the F1 22 season. Kind of makes sense that he would take the win. All right, it's time for the highlights. Let's see how this thing looks in retrospect, shall we? So there we are on the left-hand side. There's wheel spin here. The nose kind of points to one side a little bit. Trying to get the car back under control meant that Leclerc managed to pull away, and I'm having to defend. Valtteri Bottas, phenomenal start, by the way. Behind Ricciardo. Pulls in. The two McLarens start defending against each other. That allows Bottas to take the inside line. There I go, running a little bit wide. Bottas, of course, I didn't check his finishing position actually, but on the soft tyres here, so he needs to make hay while the sun shines. And before the sun sets, in fact. There we go, inside line. This particular straight here was particularly hard. All I could do in a situation like this was try and hold the inside as much as I could. I think it was Norris that had that. Or was it Ricciardo at this point? I know they were fighting each other. Might be Ricciardo actually who's got it. Onto lap 4. Let's just check. Let's check the numbers there. We know Bottas is 77. Yeah, it's Ricciardo, car 3. Ricciardo is ahead here. So Ricciardo second, Bottas third, Skip fourth, and we've got Perez and Norris battling each other. Battle there into turn 1. Bottas drops behind. Run a little bit offline. That allows Bottas to grab the inside. Take a slightly wide line here. Hopefully get to hit the power a little before the rest. No DRS though, but other cars behind me have it. There's too much of a gap to Ricciardo in front. That allows a whole bunch of cars to get close and really put the pressure on. Nothing until lap 24 apparently. Let's just check what position I'm in at this point. Am I in third? Yeah, I'm in third. So this is after Perez's retirement. Ricciardo ahead, Norris chasing down. For a while the strategy really was to defend so hard in a couple of places that you would push the car behind you chasing into the car that was chasing them. And get them off your back for half a lap or so. Already by this point, it was starting to feel a little bit impossible to close the gap to Daniel Ricciardo. Oh, if only I could. There were a couple of laps there where it felt like it was possible. Final lap. All very close there. So, race director, it was Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz who went soft to medium to medium. Everybody else that we can see there was on the one-stop strategy, doing mediums to hard. Valtteri Bottas was the only other car that did the two-stopper. It did not work for them. They actually dropped. They started 6th. They got as high as 2nd or 3rd. They fell all the way back down to 17th. So again, most of the drivers out there, conservative one-stop strategy. In terms of incidents, it got spicy, did it not? On lap 1, Daniel Ricciardo and Skip collided together. Bottas also had contact with Ricciardo. Alonso came into contact with Schumacher, and Verstappen came into contact with Tsunoda. All on lap 1. Warnings thrown out to the lot. Corner cutting on lap 9, as I got a little too aggressive for my own good in trying to overtake Norris, meant that I had to let him get past me. Had to give the position back within a brief period of time, otherwise I would have had a penalty. Did that. Then hit him again on lap 10. Well, he just kept trying to pass me, didn't he? So very, very aggressive attacking and defending from a lot of drivers here, but especially me as well. Pit stops, lap 7, the soft to mediums for the soft runners there. Lap 12, Albon, Magnussen, Leclerc. So Leclerc pitted a lap early on those mediums. No, it was the same lap as me, beg pardon, but he was like miles ahead, so there we go, that probably makes a difference. Fast stop for Skip, a 2.3, one of the fastest ones that we can see there. But yes, 13, 14, maybe 15, just 13 and 14 actually. And the two stoppers all in on 18. Last look at the standings. This is how things finish. Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Carlos Sainz and Skip all maintain their positions in the driver's standings at the end of today's event. 254 to Carlos Sainz's 267. Things got closer. Sergio Perez scored nothing today due to the DNF, and that means Lando Norris just manages to get past him today. Constructors, Ferrari, of course, the runaway champions. Red Bull secure in that 2nd place. Mercedes, a half-decent day at the office today, but there was no chance of being able to get any closer. But close enough for the Mercedes-AMG Petronas team, secure their 3rd place in the Constructors' standings. And that, folks, your final race of the season, round 22, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, is done and dusted. It's over. And we're back at team headquarters to see the end of the season out. There are weekly resources to come. There is a contract renewal to negotiate. There's something weird with the microphone that just happened there. These weekly resources, by the way, will be good for the team. Marketing department next. Before we do that, let's go purchase some more of these. Chassis upgrades. We need to secure the parts at risk. Improved energy sales, 250. Part adapted for the next season. Next. Energy store sales position, 522. We've got enough in the bank. Adapt part, secure for next season. One left. Engine cover. Boom. Done. 1,863 resource points left. Everything else now is about what can you do?
What?
What can you do for next season? Crankshaft failed. 0% chance of failure. 462. That's in development. That's only going to take 5 days. That'll be done before the season is out. Rotors, 1,224. A new rotor design features additional grooves lined with magnets. Creates an extra energy output. Good for energy recovery. That will be ready for next season. Let's get that all booked in. So all parts that were at risk in the chassis department have been protected. Good for the team for next season. We have something at the marketing department. We also have this. Valtteri Bottas is now retired from Formula 1. Drivers will be moving around.
The marketing department has requested your input on this one.
Charity worked out pretty well last time. I think at the end of the season, thinking about next season, what do we want to do? I'm going to say off-season, social media. Build the brand for the next season.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping.
The department.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Excellent. So, the season has yet to be finished, which is why we're still looking at stuff like this. Currently, Skip's contract has expired. Market value $7.02 million. Have made some big strides in terms of driver acclaim this season. Renegotiate with the current team. Approach other teams. Red Bull will not take me. I reckon we try the renegotiating with the current team. Are they interested? They are interested. 7.32, 7.52, 7.72 million. The team demands that I am available and that I am at level 11. Here I am at level 14. I think that says more than a low risk bid. They are very likely to turn down the high risk bid. Let's try medium. They took it. Skip remains then with the Mercedes team for another half a season. And the perk fund has increased to $650,000. Where to spend it? Development feedback was the last place we had put some money. Social media team, driver claim percentage boost. I think engine wear, right? Develop upgrade. Boom. And there's enough left for this too, right? Everything else too expensive. We could do that. You see, there's a lot of mechanisms here that play into someone being invested in playing this for multiple seasons. How does the rest of December go? Crankshaft successful.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race week.
That's good for the team. Marketing. Social media unsuccessful. Just as well, I signed the contract first. Nouse. Weekly resources in.
You're not currently in a rivalry. Sooner or later, you'll probably be asked by the media who you consider to be your rival.
Shut up.
Carefully who you select.
You're a terrible manager.
You'll receive a claim for beating them. You'll lose a claim if you fail to do so.
The most she spoke to me in weeks, if not months. Just like that, we're done. That is the end of the first season of the F1 22 career mode, which here is the only season we're playing, because let's face it, I started playing F1 22 back in July 2022. We did a full F2 and then F1 season, so there were 7 rounds in the Formula 2 season, 22 rounds in the F1 22 season. There are a few weeks off here and there because of illness and circumstances has meant that I've run a little bit longer into 2023 than otherwise I would have. But here we are towards the end of March at the start of British summertime, and it is done. Let's pay out on the race bet. I thought I forgot. Was it a race win? No. It was quite unlikely. Was it a podium? So close. So close. A second away in the end. When Lewis Hamilton overtook me on the penultimate lap, it was kind of done. I finished 4th. $23,000 engagements were put down on the possibility of a race win today. 160 channel points were put down on the possibility of a podium finish, positions 2 and 3. 70 engagements were put down on a position 4 to 6 finish. This is what he said earlier on. You put a little bit down on an outlier, or what seems like an outlier. If you win big. And considering that very recently they had completely emptied their piggy bank of engagements, Amber Swan has gone from that little bet on 331.86 to 1 odds, and is now able to make lots of silly sound redeems yet again. The age of plenty has returned. Yes, man, finally out of the gutter. Well done. Well done. Commiserations to the big believers, including Nexite, who put down the lion's share of the engagements today. We were close. We were close to a podium finish. It just didn't quite shake out. It's been a tough season. It's been a tough F1 22 season. Let's actually just for the last time, take a look at the season results. As now that final column has been completed. See, here it comes already. The sound drops are coming in thick and fast now. Although we have to wait for it to arrive.
How in the hell did you get involved with drugs? What were you giving them to him, selling them to him? Where in the hell did you meet that man?
That's Claudette as well. Excellent. 4th place, just off the podium. 254 championship points, 5th place. In the end, again, difficult start to that season. The Mercedes was not great, and I was not great in it.
Everybody betrayed me.
Well, yeah, most. By the time that first phase and the awful Monaco was out of the way, good run of wins before having to take a few penalties meant that it wasn't always possible to start close enough to the front to get extra race wins. But what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins plus some podium finishes. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 podium finishes out of a 22 race season, I'd say is pretty good. Pretty good going. That is the kind of outcome that you would have a burgeoning top 6 driver deliver, I think. There we go. Anyway, back to it. Not that, but I think the other one would be good. There we go. Done for another go around the sun. We did in 2020 to 2021, we did the F1 2020 game. And here from July 22 to March, almost April 2023, we did F1 22. We are just one follow away from the 325 follower goal. When we hit that, I will prepare and schedule up the final F1 22 stream. There will be a tournament of polls, which chat will get involved in, and we will take those 22 different locations, those 22 circuits, and boil them down to just one. And that winning circuit, will be the race I race on that bonus stream for the full distance, 100% race distance. That will be the very last F1 22 stream. It could be Monaco. It could. It'll be down to chat to decide in the tournament format. F1 22, folks, in the bag. It's done. Next up, Yes Man, PGA Tour 2K23. That will be your new B game on Sundays. There's going to be a lot of golf and there's going to be a lot of gambles. It's time to bet on the golf. The front 9, the back 9. Gareth Olfer is back from next week. Sunday, 7 p.m. New start time, 7 p.m. UK time on Sundays. We're going to have a little few weeks of Gareth Olfer and the life of the PGA Tour. So make sure that you come back for all of that. F1 22 final race at some point, and golf. PGA Tour 2K23 starting next Sunday from 7 p.m. Please come back. Please come back.